So then we're back at it with some little jobbing jobs into the new year, trying to catch up on a load of little jobs that have come in before Christmas, over Christmas, and trying to get them done, ticked off, ready to go into the new year. First one is, this is quite a common fault on showers, is the customers rung me and said it's not getting as hot as what it usually does. It's got 3 other showers in the property, they're all fine, it just seems to be this one. So the first port of call I'm going to do, I've had it on, tested it, and it's not hot, it's warm, but a lot of people like to have nice hot showers. So the first thing I'm going to do, without stripping it all down, is take the handle off and see if we can just rotate it a little bit back, which will then give us a bit more turn onto the hot, if that makes sense. So what first of all is pop the little cap out, get our Allen key in there. If I can get this cap out. I can't. Right, I'm going to get that out, get the Allen key on it, undo the grub screw, and then I'll show you exactly what we have to do, just to see if it will give a little bit more heat into that. If it works, fine. If not, we'll probably have to go in and get the cartridge out and replace the cartridge. But first off, let's get this off and see if we can tweak it. So with that grub screw out, I don't know if you can make it out, it's kind of awkward with this screen. I can't get my hand that way. I don't want to stand in it because it's soaking wet. So, took the grub screw out. If we pull this off, you can see the spline here. Now what happens sometimes is if we turn the handle around to there, pop it back on, tighten it up, it will then give you another sort of 20-25 degrees of heat movement into the shower. So that's what we'll do first. We'll move that around there, get the grub screw back in the side of it, and see if that gives it a little bit more temperature inside the shower. It's kind of a quick fix, and then if it does, we can look at getting a new cartridge. If it doesn't, it will defo have to have a new cartridge on it. So it wasn't quite as easy as just taking the head off, but it's still not too bad. So on this one, you've got this little brass shank here, had a screw on the front, and if you look down the side there, I don't know if I can see it, look down the side there, if I take it off, you'll see there's that little pin, it pushes against this little bit that's sticking out here. So that was pushed flush with it, so that's the hottest it will go. All we've got to do now is pull this off, turn it about 20 degrees clockwise back on, and that now gives another 20 degrees of movement. So in theory, a little bit more heat into the shower. So let's tweak that round a little bit, get it screwed back on, and see if that'll warm this shower up a little bit. So I've moved it around a little bit. You've also got to be quite careful, because if you start adding too much heat in one side, it can take off the cold from the other side, if that makes sense. So we'll get this tightened on and give it a try, see what the customer thinks. If not, we can always turn it a little bit further and see if that works. A little bit of an easy fix to get this shower nice and hot again. Right, we've just had the customer up to see if they felt that that shower was any warmer by tweaking the stat on it, and they said it isn't. They think it feels the same. So what we're going to do is take this apart, get the cartridge out, see if there's any markings on it, because this shower's got no branding on it or anything, so I don't know what make of shower it is or anything. So if we get the cartridge out, see if there's a product code on it, then try and match it up from there. So get the water off, strip this plate off, get this off, and see if we can get to the cartridge inside. So then I've stripped all the front of the shower off. We've got a towel in here so I can stand in there, but I keep getting dripped on my head. So I'm absolutely soaked at the minute. Right, water's off. Took the front plate off, and it exposes the complete shower unit in there. So we took the retaining, or I've undone the retaining bolt here. So in theory, I'd like to think this thermostatic cartridge now should pull out. However, it's not the most secure shower I've ever sort of come across. It does move a little bit like that, so I'm going to gently try and get this cartridge out if I can. and see if what's what. So I'm going to try and get it. So join me once I've got it out.
So to give you a little bit of an insight into this job, it's for a mate of mine, and he called me up over Christmas and said about the shower valve playing up. Now, I said to him, I'll get over in the new year. It's now the new year. I've shot over there today. I was speaking to him last night, and he said to me, what time are you coming tomorrow? Because I'll get some bacon in, get you some bacon sandwiches. So, Tom, if you're watching this, I told you I was going to do this because you promised me bacon sandwiches when I was heading over there, and we never got them. So, ironically, it leads on quite nicely into today's video sponsor, and that is, as always, Y-Food. Now, Y-Food have worked with me for years now, and they are absolutely good as gold. So they sent me out sort of starter packs, so let's open it up and I'll show you exactly what we've got inside. So it comes, let me turn it all around because we want it facing the front, and then I'll go through exactly all about Y-Food. So if you order one of their little bundles, you'll get all of these. We've got smooth vanilla, classic choco, cold brew coffee, happy banana, and crazy coconut. Now, Y-Food is a meal replacement. It's not a protein drink, it's not a diet drink, it's a meal replacement. Have one of these and keep you full 3 to 5 hours a day. So it's perfect because Tom's promised me a bacon sandwich. We haven't got one, so I'm gonna have to pick one of these to have, and I'm gonna go for happy banana, I think. Now, these are full of fiber, full of high quality protein, all the good stuff that will replace a meal. And as you know, now I'm going to be bacon sandwichless, but Y-Food is going to keep me going probably way past lunchtime now into the night. Coming out the back of Christmas, we're all full of junk food, chocolate, all that sort of stuff. So you're all trying to eat a little bit healthy. You don't want to eat too much junk food going into the new year. Y-Food is a perfect meal replacement for things like that. So as always, Y-Food, give me a 10% discount code. We'll pop the banner along the bottom here. It'll also be in the pinned comment and in the description below. But massive shout out to Y-Food for sponsoring this video. Give them a shout, use my code MJTIFF, get you 10% off Y-Food, especially when these customers don't do what they say they're going to do and look after you. Tom, you're in trouble. Right, let's get back to Tom's cartridge in his shower and see what's going on.
So we finally got the thermostat out. I've just clogged the towel in there to stop any water coming out, but you can see from this it doesn't look in the best shape, to be honest. So see if there's any markings on it, get some pictures of it, and then see if we can match it up somehow. So I've managed to get some pictures of it. I've zoomed right in. It's a Val, don't know if you can make that out, it's a Val Quest valve. So hopefully with the brand on it and the part number on it and that, we should be able to match it up. So fingers crossed. Right, I'm going to put it back in, get the water back on, build it back up, and then see if we can source another one of these. Right, so a bit of an odd one. I've just rebuilt the shower, put it all back together. Thought I'd turn it on just to check it, and it's coming through now absolutely red hot. So I don't know what's going on. I basically all I did, took the valve out, had a look at it, found out which one it was, popped it back in. Didn't alter anything on it, but for some reason it seems to be red hot. So just check with the customer, check it's all right. I'm sure it will be, but at least now we've got that valve. So if there is an issue in the future, we know exactly which one it is. But yeah, sometimes they fix themselves. So with that shower sorted in the other room, the customer just said to me they've got a little issue with this freestanding tap. Now freestanding taps can be an absolute pain. I've had it before. I think it was on the barn renovation about 18 months ago. It was a complete nightmare. Well, this one, as you can see, is just moving around a little bit. That's the first issue with this. And if you look down the back, there's this cowl here. If you lift the cowl up, there's 3 screws in there. So we'll give them a tighten, and hopefully that'll sort the wobbling out on the tap. The other thing is, I'm not going to do it because I'm currently sat in the bath, but when they switch from the body wand to the tap, no, sorry, from the tap to the body wand, it's coming out of the body wand, but it's also coming out of the tap as well, which says to me this diverter inside here is playing up. So what I'm going to do is, again, it's another fitting in this house that's got no manufacturer's markings on it. So if you know what that tap is, drop me a comment below, let me know. If not, I'm going to have to go and see if I can find out what it is and see if we can get a replacement diverter in there. It's one where you turn it on, I think you pull it and it sends water to the shower head, push it in, That will go back to the tap, so we've got to try and source that. Pretty good. Sometimes you can go online or go into PLUMBERS. Dave at PLUMBERS is pretty good at matching stuff like that up, so hopefully we can get that sorted. But for now, we'll get them 3 bolts tightened up in the back and stop it moving around like that. Got a little job here that has come in from a customer of mine, a very, very long-standing customer. In fact, he was one of the very first people I did a job for when I went on my own 16, 17 years ago. When I was still gas registered, we fitted a Valent Ecotech boiler into this property. Now, I've come out today to change this tail rail for this chrome one here, just because he had noticed a little bit of rusting going on the joints, so he wanted it done sooner rather than later. But when I got here, he said to me, Mark, it's quite funny, he went, Mark, I've got to tell you something, we've had a new boiler, we're sorry we didn't get you in to do it, but Valent were doing a deal on it. I went, Jeff, not a problem at all, mate. I said, I don't do boiler fits anymore. I said, so it's not an issue there. I said, but at least your other one lasted you, what was it? 16, 17 years. So, as I said, I've done bits for him over the years. In fact, we replaced that toilet, higher toilet than what he had in. But yeah, today's little job is switching this tail rail out. Now, it's going to be, hopefully, touch wood, there's plenty around here. Hopefully, it's going to be fairly straightforward. He wants to keep the valves, so it's just a case of shutting the 2 valves off, which I've done. We haven't got to drop the system out, so we can shut them off, get the tail rail drained down, and then get the brackets off the wall, get the other one into position, connect it up, I'll fill it up, put a little bit more inhibitor in there, just because I think they've used Sentinel on this one, pop a little bit more inhibitor in, and then we're good to go. So first off, shut them off, let's get my little foldable buckets from Amazon, 12 quid. Loads of people ask me about these, they are perfect. Amazon 12 quid, literally just put in foldable bucket, 12 litres, and they'll pop up. I've got like 5 or 6 of them. I've got the 20 litre one, but also I've picked up a new Nerad, what do they call it? Versa funnel. You know, they're basically like a funnel that's got a tin inside it. Yeah, let me open it up and I'll show you. So yeah, rubber coated, and it will just bend into any shape. So it's going to be perfect for getting under there, bending it or so to get under the valve. So yeah, really handy. If you haven't got one, Nerad funnel, 12 litre bucket, 12 litre foldable bucket. Perfect for little jobs like this. Right, let's get this drained down, whipped off the wall. See, what could be quite tricky here is if there's no movement in these, because they're not union fittings, they're just normal compression fittings, the tails would have poked in. So what we may have to do is somehow, hopefully there's a little bit of give in this, let's find out. If there's a bit of give, we're going to be onto a winner, because we can drop the pipe down a little bit and get under it with the bucket. But if it doesn't, it could be a bit of pain. Yeah, it will drop down. We've got to be quick. Quicker than that. So there we go, we snatched it and we're just dropping the water into it now. Once we open the air vent at the top, it will drain it a lot quicker, but for now, just while I dry up a little bit of water, it wasn't too bad. It looked more dramatic than it was. So we'll get that dried out, get this drained down and whip it off. This is why you always have 2 buckets at the ready and some blue roll. So we've cleared it all up, wasn't too bad. Right, now with this completely drained down, we'll get the brackets off, whip it off the wall, tighten the air vent at the top, and then we can turn it upside down, then it can be carried through the house, got out, not a problem, it's not going to drip anywhere. The
Then we can get the brackets off the wall, get the new one in, measure it up exactly where it's got to go. Obviously we're going to be governed by the heights of these, so we'll have to work from there up to see where we're going to hang it. So I've got the old tail rail off. I've took the tails out of the old one, cleaned them up. Phone always going. Cleaned them up here, retaped them, put PTFE tape, not even PTFE tape, Loctite 55. Put some Loctite 55 on them. I'm going to make them into it. Then we can offer the new tail rail into place. The pipe sensors are exactly the same. So what I'll do, put the tails in, lean it on top of here, and then we can mark up exactly where these points are and work out where the top ones have got to go. So I've worked out the brackets for this tail rail slightly differently than I thought I was going to. I was going to put it into the pipe work and just hold it in position and mark it, but instead I've measured from the floor to the top of here, which is going to sit within the valve there, valve connector, and then from that point there I've measured to this where it's going to fix the wall, and then from there up to the top one. Mark the wall, so funny enough it falls near on exactly the same as the old one for that one, and it's slightly shorter tail rail, so we've got a mark up here. And because these brackets are directly in line where their valves are, they're going to be there. So I'm going to mark them up now, get them drilled on, get the brackets bolted onto the wall like so, and then we can slide the rad on, connect it into the pipe work, and hopefully should be fairly straightforward. But because this is tongue and groove or floorball sort of style, I know there is brick behind it, so we're going to have to drill through it and get some plugs and screws on it. Right then, we've got the brackets in place, 2 at the top, obviously 2 at the bottom. Let's hope now, this is always the thing with tail rails, is hoping they will line up with where the pipe work is. I've been doing them 25, 26 years now, and every time I do one I'm always like, please line up. Make sure it lines up properly. So, right, let's get this on, get it connected up and see where we're at. Right, I've popped you in the bath, as you can just see here, just so you can see that it definitely lines up when I put it on. Right. Tiny little bit out. Right, let's just tweak it a little bit. There's no adjustment on these brackets where they bolt into the wall, which is the pain. You know, usually there's a bit of movement up, down, left, right. It's just one single hole in the middle. Yes. What a pain that was. So because these brackets have got no sometimes when you I haven't got one I can show you. Sometimes when you've got the hole in them, you've got like an oblong adjuster where you can just tweak it ever so slightly. These are just a hole in the centre. So it's been a bit of a pain to do, but it's on now. Let's get it bolted onto the wall and connect it up. So lining those brackets up to get this on was a right pain. I think I've said it a couple of times now. It's because there was no adjustment in the bit that fixes to the wall. But we've got it on the wall, so let's open it up. Let's get it filled up. Just hear it fill in. So what we'll do now, we'll get it filled up. Top up the pressure on the boiler, it's combi system, top the pressure up on the boiler, turn the heating on, make sure it's getting warm. I always like to heat test if I fit a new radiator or a couple of radiators into systems. A lot of people don't, and I've never understood why. You're only going to risk getting a call out 4 or 5 months later when they turn the heating on and that one rod that you fitted, maybe it wasn't balanced correctly or whatever, but it's not getting warm. So always get the heat on, test it, and make sure it's getting hot. With this one, nice little quick upgrade to the chrome tail rail from that white one that's there. Made a load of difference. It looks so much better.